Have you ever wondered about the darkest corners of history, where secrets lie buried under the weight of time and political agendas? Our journey today takes us back to the early 1930s, to Soviet Ukraine under the iron fist of Joseph Stalin. We delve into an event known as the Holodomor, a term derived from Ukrainian words that chillingly translate to death by hunger. Under Stalin's rule, the Soviet Union was marked by the forced collectivization of agriculture. Individual farms were consolidated into state-controlled collective farms, known as kolkhozy, in a bid to accelerate industrialization. But this policy came with a heavy price. The Soviet authorities implemented harsh measures, including the confiscation of grain and other agricultural products. Those peasants who dared to resist this transformation were branded as enemies of the state, further deepening the crisis. This was the beginning of an unspeakable tragedy, a famine that was more than just a natural disaster. As the policies of forced collectivization took root, a grim reality unfolded. The consolidation of individual farms into state-controlled collectives, known as kolkhozy, led to a drastic decrease in food production. The grain, the life-sustaining staple of the Ukrainian people, was seized by the authorities, leaving the population in a grip of relentless hunger. This widespread starvation was not a result of poor weather or natural disaster, but a man-made catastrophe, orchestrated by a regime indifferent to the suffering of its people. Simultaneously, the Soviet government was waging a war of misinformation. The existence of the famine was denied, information about it was censored, and foreign aid was callously rejected. The authorities went to great lengths to suppress any attempts to reveal the scale of the tragedy unfolding within their borders. A nation was starved in silence, its cries for help muffled by the iron fist of power. The price of these policies was paid in human lives, millions of them. The Holodomor, an event that etched itself into the pages of history with the ink of human suffering. The exact death toll remains a topic of debate among historians, but even the most cautious estimates point to several million lives lost to starvation. The famine didn't just take lives, it reshaped the very demographic fabric of Ukraine. It was a man-made disaster of terrifying proportions, a wound that would take generations to heal. Yet, despite its undeniable impact, the Holodomor was met with denial and obfuscation from the very authorities that had triggered it. The Soviet regime, in its relentless pursuit of control, refused to acknowledge the genocide, instead attributing the famine to natural causes and poor weather conditions. Internationally, however, the truth was recognized. Countries and organizations around the globe acknowledged the Holodomor as a deliberate act of genocide against the Ukrainian people. The echoes of those lost lives still resonate, a chilling reminder of the cost of power and control. In the aftermath of the Soviet Union, a new Ukraine emerged from the shadows of the past. Independent since 1991, the nation began to grapple with the legacy of the Holodomor, a heart-rending chapter etched deeply into its national memory. This horrific man-made famine was no longer a forbidden topic, but a poignant reminder of the resilience of the Ukrainian people. Internationally, the Holodomor began to receive recognition as an act of genocide against the Ukrainians. Countries and global organizations acknowledged the deliberate nature of the famine, standing in solidarity with Ukraine. Memorial events, held worldwide, commemorate the millions who perished, ensuring their stories continued to be heard. Yet, the Holodomor remains a contentious issue, with ongoing debates about its causes, recognition, and historical interpretation. These discussions, however, only serve to underscore the significance of this event in shaping Ukraine's national identity. The Holodomor, a testament to the resilience of the Ukrainian people, continues to shape the nation's identity and its place in the world.